Welcome to aminacademy.com. In Aluminium Bird, let us discuss about aircraft flight control. The flight control system, FCS, is a mechanical electrical system that transmits the control signal and drives the surface to realize the scheduled flight according to the pilot's command. FCS include components required to transmit flight control commands from the pilot or other sources to the appropriate actuators, generating forces and torques. Flight control needs to realize the control of aircraft flight path, altitude, airspeed, aerodynamics, configuration, ride, and structural modes. Because the performance of the FCS directly influences aircraft performance and reliability, it can be considered as one of the most important systems in an aircraft. A conventional fixed-wing aircraft control system consists of cockpit control connecting linkages, control surfaces, and the necessary operating mechanism to control an aircraft movement. The cockpit control include the control column and rudder pedal. The connecting linkage includes a push-pull control rod system and cable pulley system. Flight control surfaces include the elevators, ailerons, and rudders. Flight control includes the longitudinal, lateral, directional, lift, drag, and variable geometry control system. The flight control consists of the equipments and methods used to maneuver the drone in flight. Depending on the type of drone, there are different ways of maintaining control. For example, servos attached to sensors can be used to operate the tail control surfaces. And the fixed wing drone, the measurement taken from the various sensors are used to inputs to software PID control loops. These in turn are processed in turns as commands that the flight controller follows. The flight control functions of the system consist of interfaces to sensor for drone control, interfaces to sensor for navigations, and driving actuators in control the flight path of the drone. The parachute controller monitors the health of the drone and processes and activates the parachutes in case any issues occur during flight. The other functions of the parachute controller include deploying the wings and cutting away from the aeroshell for flight. For further detail, we'll discuss now. An aircraft flight control system is a collection of mechanisms and electronic equipment that allows a pilot to control the aircraft direction and altitude during the flight. The system uses cockpit controls, sensors, actuators, and computers to manipulate flight surfaces, engines, and other systems to achieve desired flight maneuvers. Cockpit control. Components of the aircraft flight control system. First one, cockpit control. These are the pilot's interface for interacting with the system, including control sticks, yokes, rudder pedals, and throttle controllers. Cockpit controls are the instruments and levers pilot use to manage the steer an aircraft. They can be broadly categorized into flight control, which control the plane's movement, and engine control, which manage power, the speed. Sensors. These gather information about the aircraft positions, altitude, airspeed, and other relevant data, which is then used by the control system. Actuators. These are devices that physically move the flight control surfaces, ailerons, elevators, rudder, engine power, and other systems. It responds to pilot commands or computer generated instructions. Computers. These process the sensor data, interpret pilot input, and calculate the necessary control surface movement or engine adjustment. These are the block diagram for computer system in flight. Flight control computer FCC is a primary component of the avionics system found in fly-by-wire aircraft. It is a specialized computer system that can create artificial flight characteristics and improve the handling characteristics by automating a variety of in-flight tasks which reduce the workload on the cockpit flight crew. A flight control computer receives and processes data from the multitude of sensors throughout the aircraft. These sensors monitor variables such as airspeed, altitude, and attitude. That is aircraft orientation in three-dimensional space. Embedded within the integrated avionics package, it executes critical functions such as guidance, navigation. It also controls the plane's flight control surfaces such as the ailerons, elevators, and rudder. A dedicated flight control computer handled high-level computational tasks, including routing, autopilot functions, and flight management. This computer interfaces with the avionics system and is responsible for displaying flight data on the cockpit's flight deck. Now, types of flight control system. Primary flight controls. These are the fundamental controls used for basic flight maneuvers, including ailerons or roll, elevators for pitch, and rudder for yaw. Secondary flight controls. These assist in controlling the aircraft and include trim tabs, flaps, and spoilers. Fly-by-wire system. These systems use electronic signals and computers to control flight surfaces rather than traditional mechanical linkages. Automatic Flight Control System, AFCS. These systems, also known as autopilots, can automatically maintain flight path, attitude, airspeed, and other parameters. Functions of the flight control system. Controlling flight path. The system allows the pilot to steer the aircraft in the desired direction and maintain a stable flight path. Controlling altitudes. A system allows the pilot to adjust the aircraft altitudes by controlling the lift generated by the wings. Controlling airspeed. The system allows the pilot to control the aircraft speed by adjusting engine power and drag. Controlling aircraft attitudes. The system allows the pilot to change the aircraft attitudes, pitch, roll, and yaw by manipulating the control surfaces. Automated flight control. AFCS system can automatically maintain flight path, altitude, and airspeed, reducing pilot workload and improving safety. Failure compensation. Advanced flight control system like Intelligent Flight Control System IFCS are designed to compensate for failure and allow the pilot to maintain control in emergency situation. So far we discussed about flight dynamics and its various consideration. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.